Good evening, everybody. I hereby call to order this special meeting of the Board of Ed on this Wednesday, July 30th, 2025. Please rise for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, we know we have two people that couldn't make it tonight, but let's do a roll call for everybody else.
Okay, Gary Hefner,
Here.
Susan Mitchell, Bonnie Takeuchi,
Here.
William Clark,
Here.
Bronwyn Rowntree,
Here.
Chris Scanlon, here, John Michelle Tijerino. Okay, we have 5 and quorum is present.
All right, so the bulk of our work tonight is on the consent agenda, which is 3.1. I'm going to ask for a motion to approve them together. So let's go through to see if there's any questions before we do that. So 3.2 and 3.3 are just past minutes. 3.4 is annual appointments now that we know a name for that position of the business office administrator. 3.5 and 3.6 was a gap in something we probably should have done a month or two ago, but it's appointing evaluators that need to get done, so that's to meet our deadlines. 3.7 is different than the agenda which was sent out earlier because it's the same person, but we now know the prorated wage and the effective dates. That's 3.7. And 3.8 is the adoption of the cell phone policy, which is we don't have that many choices on, I should point out. Number 1. Number 2, we can change it if we want, but we have to have a cell phone policy under the governor's demand that she doesn't care what people want to do in their own area. They decided that they know what's best for all of us, so we have to have a policy in place by Friday.
Okay, so we can approve the policy, but then we can revise it after.
We can always revise any policy, but we have to have a policy
Agreed.
by Friday.
Okay.
Do we want to discuss this policy?
If you want, we can do that now.
You want to pull out 3.8 and we'll just do the rest of the
Sure.
consent?
Yeah.
Okay?
And then we'll kick that around?
So I'm looking for a joint motion to pull out 3.8 and otherwise approve the consent agenda items for tonight. Do I have such a motion?
So moved.
Second?
Second?
Any discussion more than we've had? Okay, all those in favor? Aye, motion carries. So for 3.8 to start the discussion, do I have a motion for the adoption of the cell phone policy?
So moved.
And a second?
Second.
Okay, so discussion on the adoption of a cell phone device policy. In my opinion, in terms of, we can argue about punishments, and I think that needs some tweaking, but in terms of the policy itself, Albany's out of their mind because basically it says you have to have a policy. So what are the choices? Put it in a bag, put it in a locker, or tell kids don't bring it to school. We have to pick one of those. For us, the policy is put it in a locker, and we'll see how that goes for a couple of weeks and go from there.
And Jared's had conversations, I believe, with some of the stakeholders involved.
Yeah, there was a requirement to have stakeholders involved, multiple categories. That was done a week ago. So if we pass this policy or anything close to it tonight, we've complied with the state requirement.
Can I
I'm
ask?
yelling because
I know.
Dante told us to, so.
Can
If
I
we seem
ask-
like we're yelling, it's because we were told to yell.
Can I ask a question?
Yes.
So, are there lockers in GGM?
I don't know, I saw that question, but I'm presuming it will get sorted out.
Okay.
It's beyond my knowledge, but
There are lockers right outside here.
Okay. Okay, and that's gonna be the lockers they're
Younger
thinking.
kids, I
I don't know if there's enough boxes for all kids.
Well, I'm assuming that a lot of the young kids are not gonna have. So,
Hopefully,
yeah.
it's not going to be a very large issue in the elementary.
Gary, do we have any idea of, when it continues to budget, buying these bags for the officers and stuff? Do you have any idea what this might cost the district to do?
we shouldn't need that many bags, so it's unclear, I'm unclear what the cost would be, but also how many we need. The one option was to buy 200 bags, we're not doing that option. So
I believe that the school, the state provides a certain amount of bags. They don't know the exact number.
Right.
But I think it's in the 30s.
That's, my presumption is that we're gonna get the free ones, and hopefully that's enough for the exceptional problems.
Yes.
Not problems, exceptional circumstances.
Second thought, I don't know how it affects GGM because one of the kids are probably not calling on their phones during them. But in the high school now, the policy says they should go to the front office to make a call. And I'm just wondering if we might want a second phone line in there for student use.
I'm not worried about that. The administration will try this policy out. We have a policy committee that can look at this. We also have a student, what's the other committee? I forget the exact name right now.
Health and wellness, I'm not sure, or student success, I'm not sure which one.
Oh,
Yeah, well, maybe both, but yeah.
Yeah.
The plan is to have at least one committee, if not two, look at this. But I think we can try it out to see the logistics, and, for a week or two. The whole state's gonna be the same.
Yeah, we'll find out where the holes are and then
Right.
we'll work on it from there.
I just have one comment on the methods for parents to contact students during the school day. A, the school office phone. I find it sometimes very difficult to get somebody to answer the phone when I call the school. So if we're going to have that be a way that parents can contact their kids, probably the primary way, especially for the little kids. I just wanna make sure that we're prepared with people to staff so that those phones get answered and not hold to voicemail.
That's something they wanna bring up with Jerry.
Yeah, just wanted to flag it.
That's good.
Or actually both,
Yeah,
actually both
Jared.
Jared and, both
Yeah.
building principals. Any other questions or comments or thoughts?
Then again, I don't call
Yeah.
regularly,
I
that's,
mean, I don't call them regular.
Eva does, and,
Yeah.
I know Mary's really
Yeah.
good.
Chris?
I just think with the violations, there's three different violations. The first one is a verbal warning, the second one is you have to drop your device off at the main office and pick it up for 30 days. And then the third violation is a parent actually has to come in and pick up your phone at the main office for 30 days. We may want to take a look at that and possibly revise it.
But we can look at it right away. We can look at revising this policy as of tomorrow, as long as we have it. Actually, obviously we'll have, a week into school, we can ask at the very next meeting for an update of how it's
How
going.
it's going.
Right. People calling in,
Yeah.
the free bags, like everything. Anything else? All right, all those in favor of passing the cell phone policy as attached to the agenda, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. We have some discussion, but I see some people are here. Did you want to make a public comment? About anything, but, did you just hear, I'm just asking, because we will let you go next if you want to talk about anything. Okay, that's fine. So, there's nobody else here for public comment, I was gonna switch ahead to that. So, discussion on committees. I just wanted to let everybody know that we are continuing to work on the committees. My expectation will be that by the next regular meeting, we'll have a proposal for all the committees with some of their goals and some of their proposed community members and some of their deadlines. It's really up to the committees to put their own terms of organization together. But I will hope to have that finalized. It can always be tweaked by the next regular meeting. And then at every regular meeting, we would ask that every committee chairperson have a written report. Doesn't have to be detailed, but what's going on. And if you want to supplement that orally in the meeting, I think you're welcome to do that as well.
Okay. Next meeting is August 20th.
Yeah, so we're going to talk about possibly changing that, but, yeah.
Can I make?
So other discussion on committees.
Yeah, about the committees. So the committee that I'm chairing is the Student Success Committee, and I would like to get that up and going before school starts if possible, so that we can at least have our first meeting before the rush of school. And one thing that I was thinking, I've seen other districts do this where they have an application for members of the community and people in the schools, basically anybody that's not a board member, to give some way of structuring how people express interest. worked out and put up on the website and announced out to the community so that anybody that's interested in joining that committee could begin the process so that we're not starting everything in September. I don't know if anybody had any thoughts or,
There's a draft proposed volunteer form out
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
So what we could do is, we don't have to wait for the next meeting to start the committees, because
Okay.
they're actually not official yet.
Yeah.
So we can do this immediately.
and maybe we could post it on the website
Yeah.
and put it
Okay.
on the Tuxedo, our Facebook group
Exactly.
or something. Does anybody have any thoughts
That's good.
about moving ahead with that? And I'm assuming the different committees can move, they don't all have to move in lockstep, like different committees will move differently
Exactly.
depending on. And my thought for the student success committee was that it would be a monthly meeting to begin with, and then if we found that was too much or too little, we could adjust as it went, but to start off meeting once a month.
Whatever the chairman thinks is best to be tweaked on a regular basis.
Okay, and I think since we have more than 3 members of the board on that committee, those meetings will be publicly noticed meetings. Of course, I mean, for the student success committee, I think, so that means that, would that mean that members of the public generally were invited to join, or can we just keep it to the committee? Not that I'm opposed to members of the public joining, but in terms of like managing the structure of the meeting and making sure we have some continuity. Or is that just?
You mean as spectators?
Yeah,
But
exactly.
They have to be allowed to
They,
spectate.
okay, they do, okay,
Oh,
so
yeah.
then we'll have
Or
spectators.
The board could also vote to keep it more in, so it doesn't necessarily have to be one.
Okay, so it's just the number at each
Number at
meeting,
each meeting, is that?
or is it the number on the committee?
At the meeting.
Not the meeting.
Okay,
So, but it also depends on the topics. There might be some meetings you want
yeah,
spectators,
Not allowed to be public.
yeah.
right, and then other meetings you may have a little more safety issues or whatever else. If the committee decides, as long as there's only 3 board members present,
That we could, limit it to committee members, which would include not just the board committee members, but any committee members from the school or the general public that wanted to.
you could have 100 committee members, but only 3 board.
Yeah, okay,
We have to check with Dayton too about, like where the gray areas is. We're talking salaries, we're talking, some of the other things that may,
yeah.
When in doubt, get guidance ahead of time, because you can't unring a bell.
I have to say, as I was looking at the outreach committee and trying to come up with a mission
Just
statement.
make sure you're, can you hear her okay?
Can you hear me okay, Dante? Okay, trying to come up with a
we're
mission
gonna be,
statement.
Turn it off for a
here for a long
second.
time, I think we're moving along pretty quickly, right? Yeah,
There you go. We turn the AC off.
That helped a little bit.
Trying to develop a mission statement. And, it seemed to me that this outreach committee is actually going to be a bunch of smaller committees. That's the only way, it's kind of a nuts and bolts thing, it's not a lot of philosophy, as different from the other 2 committees that I think you and Susan are composing. So, I don't know, is that a board committee or is it a school district committee?
Let's form it, and we'll decide after the fact. Formulate what makes the most sense in terms of the topics you're gonna handle, who's gonna populate it, and then we'll decide what it is.
Backwards?
Yeah,
Well, and just for anybody watching, I mean, I think this is a moving target, right? We're all kind of doing this as we go, and so anything is subject to revision based on how we feel it's working or like,
yeah,
if one committee has taken on too much and we feel like it needs to be divided, then we can,
yeah,
we're not setting anything in stone.
yeah. And your goals and everything can be tweaked up and down. I presume it'll take 6 months to kind of figure out all the committees where they need to be. So don't, whatever your mission statement is in 3 weeks from now,
Hey,
it can be
Mike,
totally different in October.
yeah, maybe.
Yes, we have to control expectations, I get that, but, I just don't wanna get caught up in, how things are run to the detriment of getting something done.
Yeah.
Exactly. Get the work done, we'll figure out what it is and what do we call it later.
Who would put stuff on the internet? Who do we ask, like if we put a form up or we put a little announcement up?
It's a little bit different in the summer, so really you should all go through Jared.
Okay.
for the summer.
Okay.
And then it kind of sorts out better.
Okay.
Not everybody's here every day.
Yeah, totally.
Anything else on committees?
No,
All right, district clerk discussion?
Do we have a clear understanding at this point of the duties of the district clerk so that we can begin the process of identifying the person? And if not, how do we anticipate creating that?
I think we need to ask Jared to come up with the roles and responsibilities
Okay.
for the district.
I'm sorry, Chris.
By education law, I believe it's, I don't remember, it's 21 is the law, that there's certain duties that the district clerk has, and then there are other duties, that have been added on top that is room for interpretation based off of each school district. So for me, I'd like to know, what are the other school districts doing? And what have we done historically with regards to the district clerk? And then define what the roles and responsibilities are for the district clerk going forward.
Can we try to set a loose schedule? Like, can we ask Jared to create it within a week and start interviewing in 2 weeks, or do we need more time?
Again, summertime, I'm not sure
Yeah, I
his
know
schedule,
yeah.
but the
I
short
mean-
answer is yes, but I don't know what the schedule will be.
Yeah.
So we can take that
So
offline.
we can start like moving forward, because Matt is great, but it would be nice to get the permanent person in and working.
I will focus on that.
So that's a takeaway for Jared,
Right.
Okay.
come up with that prior to the next meeting.
But if we don't do the next meeting until like late August, we should maybe think about moving a little bit more quickly with the district clerk, which we could do separately,
Once
right?
we define the roles and responsibilities for each, we should definitely do that. We may have to have a special meeting just for that.
I think that's probably a pretty good idea.
Speaking of that, just because it's relevant for this topic, I'm out of the country on the 20th, so do you and or Susan want to run the meeting on the 20th? Or do we want to move it up a week to the 13th? You mentioned before about doing that, not just for me, but because there's so many things to talk about.
I think the cadence that we've been doing recently, because we have so many things to resolve and work through, it's been a 2-week cadence. I think we should keep it that and move to the 13th. Personally, that's what I think. Maybe have the 13th, and if necessary, maybe the 22nd.
Well, we can decide on the 13th, the next one,
Yeah.
but I don't disagree with you.
That works for me. I
So
agree. I
13th?
think it's important to keep.
I may or
that
may not be here for any of them.
Understood.
My schedule is in
Okay.
flux, so, but, yeah,
Okay, so the
think
next
that's a
meeting
great
will be
idea.
7:30 on the 13th.
Mhm.
And then we'll go from there, but we expect to theoretically have one more before school starts. Because there's so
We
many
need
things
it,
to take
yeah.
care of. Okay,
There's a lot to be done.
yeah, okay. Anything else for discussions, open-ended discussion, new
Oh,
items?
I wanted to talk a little bit about the dispensary issue. So Susan and Bonnie attended in person. I attended over the phone.
Very
Thank you, Susan, thank you,
Because I
Bonnie.
had to do that
Yeah.
time.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah,
you were
you
there
were
in
there.
person too?
That was mentioned.
Oh, well, you didn't get up and talk, so I didn't know you were there. But there is a little bit of an
It's different
update,
kind of dispensary.
and none of this is, firm, but it was brought to my attention that there's the 500-foot
It's
law.
a mistake.
Well, it measures from school property, not door to door. So it's door to door for liquor stores, but the way the cannabis dispensary law is written, it's school board boundary line to boundary line. So both of the orange top buildings are within 500 feet.
Oh, you know that already.
That's what I was told, and there's nothing firm about that, but that's what I was told, not by the powers that be, but by somebody that looked it up and did their calculations. And so I believe maybe, and of course nothing's done until it's done, that it might be a moot issue around the orange top becoming a dispensary.
But I believe the law also includes anybody registered as a daycare center, so if somebody's watching one kid, but they're registered with the state, that would be a 500.
Okay.
So you'd be surprised in any jurisdiction, and we should ask the town to do this,
Yeah.
to create a map with every registered school or daycare center. You'd be surprised in any jurisdiction,
How many little places there are?
all those bubbles overlap and there's very few places left.
Yeah.
Well, actually, this whole topic was covered on Channel 4 News.
Oh, really?
And I videoed it,
Oh,
if anybody
nice.
wants to see. It's 500 feet from school and 200 feet from a church. So we also have the Catholic Church
Uh-huh.
just across the
Right,
street.
so there's so
property
many,
to property.
right, so the town really, I will contact the town and ask them, if they haven't done it, can they do a map of what areas in the town of Tuxedo are even eligible
Uh-huh.
under the current law to host a dispensary?
Yeah.
Because it might alleviate a lot of concerns.
Yeah, yeah. But so I think that maybe the orange dot for it is not,
It looks that way.
looks like it might not be.
That's why you usually find them like on long straightaways and back,
Yeah.
like,
Yeah,
because it can't be around anything.
yeah.
Okay, any other open discussion items?
Just things I wanna make sure don't fall through the cracks, because, the person who did our yearbook is not employed in the district anymore. And, we got a thing on our Chromebooks about setting up school pictures, Life Touch. I don't know if Nancy Donnelly does that, Matt, you may know,
She does it for GGM.
just for GGM. These things fill up quickly, and, we should ask, on Jared's list, to, maybe he can assign somebody to look at school picture dates, senior picture dates, yearbook advisors.
Couple more things. Can we post, at least put up a tentative schedule for the board meetings, cause it's still shown in last year's board meetings?
It's unclear, we were trying the 7:30 to see if Wednesdays worked, are we good with the current, other than August, are we good with the current schedule, which is the
Third Wednesday
Wednesday,
of
but at
every month.
7:30?
7:30.
If
Yeah,
that's
I know we
everybody
were
wants.
talking about dancing around the town, but.
We thought about moving
I think
days, but then
there's
we're
a-
gonna try moving the time first. So Wednesday 7:30 works for
That's
now?
fine with
Me.
me.
For me,
Alright, so we'll have to update the schedule.
We should check
I can
with
easily put the
Susan.
new schedule up on the website under the link, I didn't because of that very reason.
So why don't we, if you're gonna do
Wanna
that,
put
why
it
don't we
up?
just put the 27th of August? So next month it's 13/27, and then from there, they're on the third Wednesday, put all at 7:30.
I think Susan's problem is we
13
talked
to
about moving
27.
it first,
It was like
27,
Thursday
both
was
regular,
one.
one
Yeah.
special, one regular,
something like
Yes.
that.
Oh, and then it was the committee, the
The
New York
regular,
State board,
Yeah,
and then put up
whatever that she
the rest
was
that's on there
the
starting
regular
September.
form, but at all
We
7:30.
were trying, she was trying to get the NISBA, and we were trying
That's
to
right.
work around the town at the same
Yeah,
time,
whatever we could schedule.
but we
for that
couldn't
week,
get
the
everybody's
Wednesday
personal
not-
schedule to
not
jive.
Thursday.
Well, we were Wednesdays, we're
I
keeping,
think we were
it
kinda like,
Wednesdays.
okay,
It should be Wednesdays.
third Wednesday.
Should be the third Wednesday, but
7:30 's fine.
now it's 7:30.
Got it.
The other question I had is, does the school have a policy when someone leaves the district, an employee leaves the district, when do they get pulled off the website?
Well, I don't know,
It's just,
right,
I happen to be on there. and
I'm not even sure what to ask,
I
so
see-
I will ask
I
Jared.
see it.
That's a Bevan question, isn't it?
Yeah, I
is
mean,
is he the one that runs the
That
website?
doesn't run the website.
No.
Somebody else did, I believe that was Meg McCluskey.
Yeah, that was Megan McCluskey, alright, I thought she was working through and,
it's just a
So-
new,
Yeah,
Okay.
I believe she's no longer here,
Yep.
so.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I'll make
Okay.
it up, we'll sort
That's
that
a
out.
very good question.
Any other public, or new comments, topics?
public comment?
Did you guys
Again,
change
no,
your
you guys
minds?
changed your
Last
mind?
chance to change
Thought
your mind.
maybe, okay,
Okay.
Here for the entertainment?
just,
I don't believe we have anything for executive session,
no,
so I will ask for a motion to adjourn.
so moved.
Second? All those in
Second.
favor?